I'm Robert Bell, and we're here at the 2013 NAB show talking with thought leaders in media contribution and distribution about some of the most important trends shaping the industry, from technology shifts to changing viewer expectations. And here's what one of them had to say about the most important changes taking place today.
Well, at HPT, we have a rather unique situation in that we are primarily focused on the needs of the Pacific region. And in that part of the world, they're maybe a little behind the advances of the Americas in terms of the demand for that multi-screen experience. But what we find is that they tend to leapfrog some of the technology. And so the way HPT is addressing it is rather twofold. Number one is we know that in that world, the demands for bandwidth are increasing exponentially. So we're constantly looking at new ways to better utilize the bandwidth that's available. We're always looking for new channels. And we're also looking at the cloud as being a primary delivery mechanism. So one of the things that HPT is especially doing right now, we're developing a new data center at our facility so that we can combine traditional teleport services with what's been traditionally data center and cloud services, and marrying those two together, we think the combined assets will not only serve the needs of the demands of the new world, multi-screen world. In addition to serving the needs of the multi-screen user, it positions us for the growth beyond what we see today. In the fact that we can provide the cloud services, we can provide the co-location services for enterprise users, government users, and marry together the especially broad amount of bandwidth we can bring to the table through the teleport with the data center. I would say some of the trends that we see emerging are not necessarily brand new to this year's NAB, but continuation of past years. Especially this year, I guess we're seeing 4K now for the newer generation for video resolution. Obviously, that's going to put future demands on bandwidth. But also, I think there's a reinforcement of the multi-screen experience that we talked about previously. And again, it really comes down to how to facilitate the bandwidth more efficiently, bring more bandwidth to the marketplace. And I think it especially emphasizes the need for teleports to combine not just satellite bandwidth, but to be especially plugged into very robust terrestrial networks as well, and bring the two together in a way that adds tremendous value to the customer demand. Well, I think the drivers that we see today are more focused on comms on the move. So the airline customers, the maritime customers, the government and military customers who have the needs for any content delivered anywhere or accessibility anywhere are especially of focus for HPT, not only because of the broad Pacific region that we cover, but also there's a bit of isolation across some of the smaller Pacific islands. And so in order to be able to serve the needs of those customers, we're seeing the need for the small terminals, we're seeing the need for the satellite footprints, for example, that have the broader footprints, but yet with enough density to allow those customers to access that bandwidth with the smaller terminals. We think so. We're real pleased to be able to operating from Hawaii to not only have great access to the North American satellite fleet, but also to the Asia Pac fleet as well. And having that broad reach has been a differentiator for HPT. And we think that in addition to that, the idea of joining our teleport with networking that with other teleports globally also adds a tremendous amount of value, and that's something that we're going to be announcing very soon, some strategic moves to marry our facility together with others to present that reach. Well, I think once again, there will never be a full replacement to the capabilities of what satellite communications can deliver. Obviously, having these broad footprints, again, I referenced the idea that from Hawaii, with our region having so much diversity and widespread locations that we serve, being able to provide signal and coverage to multiple locations simultaneously that are very difficult to reach through terrestrial fiber connections does make the satellite coverage quite important. In terms of future expansion with Ka band coverage and even enhanced C and Ku band coverage, the appetite for bandwidth is at an all-time high, and we don't see it settling down anytime soon. So our belief is that we will continue to see great demand for satellite bandwidth, and we're trying to position ourselves to be able to fulfill that demand. Well, I think that in 2016, we'll be probably much further down the road with, of course, NAB being so focused on video and broadcast and media. Right now, we're hearing some astronomical figures of the amount of internet bandwidth being consumed by rich media, video especially. And so I think we're going to see a greater emphasis on what's happening in the cloud when it comes to broadcast, media distribution in general. And again, going back to what I was mentioning earlier, HPT's focus on developing a new data center capability at our facility, providing cloud services and marrying that together with our traditional teleport services. We really think that 3 years from now, that is going to be the right place to have a business and to focus that business. And in terms of the capabilities and the demand for the cloud access, we believe that's going to be a much greater focus. And of course, the 4K video and all of these things just add to that. It's just additional means of consuming the bandwidth and utilizing the cloud.